talking to some of your chapter brothers, apparently your nickname back in the chapter house was Hollywood Horton. Because they remember you always saying that you're going to be famous someday. So here we are, P90X is blowing up. You can't go a day without seeing the infomercial. Did you ever imagine that it would get to this point, and are you at all surprised by the level of its success?
No, I didn't think it would. I always hoped that it would. I mean, I thought I would be some kind of combination of Brad Pitt and Jim Carrey. I thought I would be the actor that could do it all. And that's why I pursued acting for so long. But the health and fitness part of my life took over the acting, and oddly enough, the two things work together now. I think partly the reason my P90X is successful, and there's a lot of credit that has to go to our CEO, Carl Eichler, and Beachbody, is they let me do it the way I wanted to do it. There's a lot of humor in P90X. I mean, I always have been, and that's why the Hollywood Horton nickname kicked in, early on. I'm very animated, I'm very opinionated, and I like to have a good time, And the one thing about fitness is that a lot of people in health and fitness and weight loss industry treat exercise and diet like rocket science. They make it they don't make it palatable for people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why P90X is as successful. Of course, it's tried and true. We did a year of testing. We went through 2 test groups with it. I built it basically from the early days we did with Tom Petty. 1 day of resistance, 1 day of cardio, and then rotating 6 days a week. So now it's a much more elaborate version. But to answer your question, that's a long-winded answer. Not in a million years did we think it was going to be this. Not in a million years would we think that Pink would talk about it on Oprah, that Sheryl Crow would talk about it on the red carpet of the Grammys, that Jerry Stackhouse would use P90X as a means for getting back in the league after Sean Merriam from San Diego Chargers is using it. And the list of people in Hollywood and saying, there's like Kelly Slater, whatever, 6 or 7 time world surf champion, Olympic diver Laura Wilkinson, I think, Emmett Smith, Ray Lewis, David Akers from the Eagles, Donovan McNabb, Brian Westbrook, back from the Eagles. Then you've got people like Jenny Garth and Demi Moore and Ewan McGregor and Usher and Joel Osteen,
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy, There's a lot of ESPN guys like Reese Davis, who I met at the airport, who was more enamored with me than I was with him. It's just kind of amazing. And Newcomer, members of the New York Islanders, it just goes on and on and on. So, and the cool thing is that we never paid anybody a dime to say anything about P90X. Most fitness companies, they have to pay their celebrities big money to go on air to say that their product. That's it. It's really become a word-of-mouth phenomenon.
Yeah, it really has. You don't shy away from hard work, obviously, in the program. I mean, bring it is the #1 slogan, I guess you could say, from the entire thing, and it's predicated on the fact that it's fun, but you have to bring it and work hard. In your own life, how did the lessons that maybe you had learned about hard work translate into building this program and making it successful?
I learned a few years back that failure is not a bad thing. Falling on your face is part of the process. And I learned early on to try to be in the moment more, sort of understand that things aren't going to be perfect right away. That there are multiple steps you have to take. Successful, and one of them is, I went to tons of seminars. I've read more special self-help books than people. But, people like Don Miguel Ruiz, Tony Robbins, and my desire was always to be better, always, be a little bit smarter, to enjoy the journey a little bit, way, to find the right people who were successful. I think mentors are everything. Too many people try to solve problems on their own, and they keep going around in circles, not asking the right questions. And then when they don't succeed at the pace and speed and rate that they hoped to prior to starting something, they quit.
Yeah.
A lot of it just comes down to finishing. Finish what you started, even if it doesn't go the way you would hope. And that was my thing. I always knew early on, even when I was a complete neophyte in every aspect of my life, I always knew that there was something better around the corner. And I realized at some point that finding the right people for help and continuing to open new doors and falling down along the way was all part of the process. Not to be afraid. But if you are afraid, that's actually okay, and that's part of the process.
A couple more questions, and I'll let you get out of here. I know you're busy. From back to your college.
I'm actually not.
Got everything done today, huh?
I finished the manuscript to my book last night, and it's been a big burden, and it's freakish that I have, being.
Oh, we'll just chat all afternoon then. Perfect.
I also, Phi Psi, I have a very strong tie to my fraternity, and I would just want to make sure that this article is a great article, and that I say enough stuff so that maybe it might help people realize, oh, wow,
Yeah.
I'm kind of struggling in my life, and this guy might have some ideas about how to...
Well, I'm getting into the fraternity aspect of it, and you brought it up, but looking back on your college experience and obviously your time at Rhode Island and with Rhode Island Beta, what, if anything, you mentioned you're getting involved from the fitness side of things at college, but from the fraternity experience, anything that you took away from that you still, that maybe was a factor in your success in life, or that you still sort of look back on right now finally and say, that really made me a lot of ways who I am today?